Now we're going to look at creating shading devices in Revit and then evaluating them in Sapphira. Sapphira only recognizes roofs, floors, walls, and some components, such as window components. Those are the only elements we can use to create our model. So I'll show you first how to create a shading device using a roof. Let's go up to Roof, Roof by Footprint. I'm going to put these above the windows here, which I have a line for that. That's top of window 3. And I'd like to show my work plane. Okay, so to draw a roof, let's start with the basic rectangle. And one thing that happens is by default roofs are pitched. So you'll notice all these little triangular marks. That means that this roof, if I went ahead and finished now, would be a sloped roof. So I want to select all of the lines in my sketch and uncheck Defines Roof Slope. Those disappear. Now I have a flat roof. I don't want a 12-inch thick or an 18-inch thick shading device, so I want to edit this type and create a new, let's call it generic, how about 2 inches? And then here under Structure, click Edit and change the structure thickness to 2 inches and hit OK. And then I want to come down and just check Ignore for Sapphira twice to turn it off, check Shading for Sapphira and hit Apply. If we check OK, we'll get a notice that says, do we want the walls to attach to this roof? No, we don't. You also can do some different profiles and shapes. So if I select that roof again and hit Edit Footprint, let's say that we wanted to use a curve instead. So I'm going to choose Curve by 3 points. Now I have to remove all of the other lines in my sketch. In all of the sketches, you can't have intersecting lines. The profiles have to be simple shapes. And again here I'm noticing that the Define Slope symbol is showing, and I want that to be flat. I'm just going to take a look from the 4th floor to look down at this. I want to move the whole thing out so that it's on the outside of the building. Great. Hit my check mark, go back to my 3D view. I'm just going to check the properties one more time to make sure that this is not ignored and it does show shading. And then let's go ahead and check Sapphira by generating our Sapphira views and taking a look to make sure that under shading we do indeed see that shading device. This time I'd like to show you how we could use a floor to create that, and it's very similar, so we'll go quickly. Create a new floor. I want to make sure to set my level. Top of window is fine, and then here I also want to select top of window 2 for my work plane. And then I like to show my work plane, and then we go ahead and draw the profile, and you can really use any shape of profile. I'm going to do a rather boring shape. Again, let's go ahead and edit the type. This time, maybe since that has a big cantilever, I'm going to make it 6 inches. Edit the structure, change that to 6 inches. Say OK. OK. I can go ahead now and click twice on the Ignore for Sapphira, click once on Shading, and hit Apply. And then I can hit my check mark when I'm done. Let me just verify, it still says shading. Great. And again, if I generate my Sapphira views, and then I look at my shading elements, I should see both of those. Very good. One more thing I'd like to show you is that for floors or for roofs, I can edit that profile, and I can actually add some openings. So as long as I keep the profile shape without intersecting lines, you can put some holes in the floor or holes in the roof. And the last thing I want to show you is how you could add adjacent buildings and use walls as shading devices. I'm going to return to level 1. I'm going to go back to Massing and Site, create an in-place mass, draw the building form. Let's look at it in 3D. Then I want to select that line, create form, solid form. Let's go ahead and make it 60 feet tall. Finish the mass. Now again in my massing and site, I can create walls. And I want to select those elements, filter so I can just get the walls first, come down and uncheck ignore and apply shading. And now once again, if I generate my Sapphira views and I look at my shading elements, I can see that that adjacent building would be casting a shadow onto my building.